And England manager Gareth Southgate has been speaking to the speaking at a press conference this afternoon ahead of his side's match at home to Belgium tomorrow night. It's live on talkSPORT at 7:45. He said Declan Rice will captain England tomorrow. Go on, Dec.
Declan is here. It's his 50th cap. He has great leadership experience already at a tender age. And I think it's a brilliant opportunity for some of our young players now to show leadership and to experience that. A lot of the players involved that are with the squad now, they're the future of the team as well for the mid and long term. And the more of those experiences they can have, that's really helpful for everybody.
Oh, we love that news. England's captain for today, Declan Rice. He was actually speaking this afternoon. He had a chat with our very own Faker Others, talkSPORT England correspondent. We'll hear that chat in the next 10 minutes. Benji, what do you make of your boy, Declan Rice, being named England captain for tomorrow's friendly against
Well, I can
Belgium?
have a bit of a breather. Man played 90 minutes against Brazil. You know, Saka's already gone home. Declan, hey, come on, Gareth. Everyone needs a breather.
He does seem to... He's like a Duracell bunny, isn't he?
So everyone needs rest, got to rotate, have a look at other people.
Yeah.
Honestly, trying to drain the life out of him.
Are you saying that because he's an Arsenal player?
Come on.
Oh,
He played 90 minutes against Brazil.
He doesn't need to play. But listen, if your country say...
He is a captain without wearing the armband, that's for sure. We saw him at West Ham last season as their captain, was brilliant. Come to Arsenal, and even though Odegaard's the captain, like the way he's performing this season, and this is going to sound bonkers, it's almost like 100 million is cheap.
Right, no, I get that.
The way he's played.
What he's brought Arsenal, that stability he's got, is
I had no idea, because I didn't watch West Ham that much last season, that he was this good. Like, again, me and you have sat on this show last season, and if asked me who's better, him or Partey last season, I'd have gone, Partey, 100%. The way he's come in and almost become the general of that midfield, he's been outstanding. And the fact that he's captain, like, fair play to him. Like, he deserves it.
Should he be Arsenal's captain?
No.
Why?
Odegaard's the captain.
Why? Tell me what he does on the pitch, Odegaard.
Lead by example. Maybe not the most vocal at times, but led by example. And Declan can't be too far off of that.
Yeah.
But Odegaard's the captain for
Who's
sure.
your vice captain? I'm putting you on the spot here. Do you know?
Vice captain.
Do you know? I'll put you on the spot.
I want to say Gabriel Jesus, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Saliba?
No, see, I don't know, but I think Declan would be in the conversation.
He should be, right? He should be one of them.
But listen, he's going to be proud leading out his country. That's fantastic. I'm 50th cap. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer him to be sitting on the bench, slippers on.
Yeah, of course you would. Be weird if you.
Is Mainu starting?
How do I know?
But listen, that should be the headline. Mainu starts, captain. There you go.
What, 18?
18.
Do you think if now that Southgate has named him as captain, he will play the whole 90 minutes?
I hope not. Come on, Gareth.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you're winning your 50th cap and you're captain, you can't really sub him at half time, can you? It's a bit weird.
Nah, you can. I mean, if they're out of sight or 60 minutes, get him off.
Okay.
Listen, he doesn't need to play 90 minutes.
Playing for the 90, Gareth. Don't do that because I want Arsenal to win the league. How important is it for Southgate to find a way to let Declan Rice free as England's number 8?
We've got to find that holder. And the only one that seems to be screaming to me at the minute is Kobbie Mainoo. So that's because that's what's happened to Arsenal. They played the first leg against Porto with Declan holding. We had no control of the game. And that's the one game you'd go, Declan wasn't at his best.
Yeah. You've got to let him go forward.
Straight away, put Jorginho as that holder, give Declan license to go forward. Been brilliant ever since. It's worked ever since. If you can find that direct replacement for him in terms of holding, and whether that's Mainoo, then of course you can let him off the leash into that 8 role. But if you can't, he's equally as good as a holder.
When he played, I'm not suggesting Calvin Phillips come back into the team, but when he played with Calvin Phillips in the World Cup, they did have that understanding. I did see Declan Rice get forward a lot more.
I don't think the door's shut on Calvin Phillips, you know.
Do you think if Calvin Phillips was still at Man City, getting the odd 20 minutes here and there, he'd be in this England squad?
Potentially, you know.
I do.
Because there are players right over in the history of football. Their reputation makes you think they're better than they're actually playing. So if they get 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, you go, oh, he's decent. Or as a goal scorer, certain players, you look at their goal scoring record, and you go, oh my goodness, that's like better than one every other game. But the fact is they play very few minutes because they've got injury.
It's a bit misleading. Rather than play 90 for a club, you go...
And not exactly. Yeah. But I don't think the door's closed for Calvin Phillips at all. I really don't.
Okay. What, to get on the plane for the Euros?
No, I don't. I almost feel like Gareth's done this as like a wake-up call. And then if he goes back to West Ham and plays well from now to the end of the season, Gareth's taking him. 100%.
Do you think so?
100%.
I'd be stunned now. Let me ask the question. Do you think that if Gareth Southgate did call up Calvin Phillips, that would be a shock? No. I
don't think the door's slammed in his face yet.
Okay,
Where's Sterling?
I'll be stunned now.
I think Sterling, the door's closed, I think.
My thinking is if you haven't made this squad, you ain't going to the Euros.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
But look, Grealish, injured.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I think
he's injured, so he can't be in the squad.
If he gets back into that West Ham team and starts to put some performances in, he'll be
got
going.
a chance. Just quickly, I don't know if you saw this, but England posted a nice video on TikTok over the weekend asking players who they like to sit next to on the team bus when they're on international duty. Who did you sit with and spend time with on the bus on England?
A lot of the time I was at the back with people like Jolie Lescott. Great guy.
Why did you sit there?
Just because that was like an empty seat. So I'd sit there, I'd sit with Kieran Richardson, who I'd known since we were kids.
Was there an order to get on the bus? Did the big head to go first?
There wasn't an order, but you got to know your place. So I wasn't about to just... If there was like Rio, Beckham and Gerrard sitting at the table and there's one spot available, I'm not sitting in that seat.
What? I find that
no,
weird.
I'm not sitting in that seat.
But they're work
They're
colleagues.
talking about, Champions League, remember the Champions League? No, not sitting at that table. Forget it.
Did you ever have a seat next to one of the big heads on
a couple of times you just talk about, like, I don't know, it could be anything.
Who'd you sit next to?
Rio, probably. I mean, he was the one who really kind of looked after me when I got in the squad.
Nice.
That was nice. Ashley Cole was brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Helped me out to play FIFA with those guys. But, yeah, there's an order. When these guys are sitting talking at the table, you just go, do you know what? At the time, I'm at Charlton.
That's so funny.
I'm not looking to get involved in that conversation. What
you were at Charlton when you were in England?
Yeah, that's when I got my first call up to England. One game for Charlton on my debut.
You are joking.
Yeah. Played Sunderland away, scored 2. Weren't in the under-21 squad. Got a text message from Michelle. You've been selected
I've
for
heard this bit of the story. I didn't know it was after one game.
My debut, Charlton.
How old were you?
21, 22.
That's incredible.
The brace was lovely, though.
Was it? Go on, first one?
First one, Ambrose, put me in.
Yeah.
Just smashed it past the keeper. Second one, we're like hanging on for dear life, 10 men. And I think it's Hughesy, Brian Hughes just clears it.
Yeah.
And I just get after it, bring it down, take it to the side and just go. I could hear Curb screaming, take it to the corner. Absolutely not.
No,
smash. Bottom corner.
Do you remember the England lineup you were in for your debut?
So, Bex?
No, 1 to 11.
He was captain.
Yeah, but I'm talking about he wasn't in goal, was he?
Maybe he's the first one you remember.
Okay, you're right.
I think it was Paul Robinson.
Yeah.
Glenn Johnson. Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
John Terry and Rio, maybe.
Oh, right.
Gerrard, Beckham.
Oh, my goodness. Scholesy?
Lampard, maybe, and Joe Cole on the left.
Yeah.
Me and Rooney.
Yeah, I'm fine with Wazza.
I'll try and find you the picture of the team photo. Because even when I look at it now, I just go, oh, my goodness.
Wow. That's
what am I doing there?
You should change it to your little avatar. You know, on like Instagram or whatever.
Do you know what's mad? Even though you're a pro, I looked at that picture so many times, I've gone, what am I doing there?
Do you feel like competition when you're in it?
Yeah.
But why?
Because you're talking about some of the greatest players this country's
ever
produced.
But you're not there by chance. You're there because you're an unbelievable player.
But listen, any other pro will tell you that. You first get in the squad, you do feel like a competition winner. I'm going to bed before the very first training session, preparing like I'm playing for a game. Getting the right fluids on, making sure I get the 8 hours sleep, getting up early, getting the right food in. Because I know when I get to training, the standard's going to be like...
Were you really nervous when you were warming up?
Yeah. Because you know why?
Can I ask this? Sorry. Were you warming up not as well as you should have been in case you got injured?
What do you mean?
In the warm-up? Like, usually you might go...
Before the game or the first training session?
before the game.
Nah, I'll just warm up like normal.
Oh, right, fine.
But for the very first training session with those boys, I'm making sure I'm out there early, doing everything absolutely to a T.
Yeah.
And then just... Because I know they're looking at me thinking...
Of course.
Well, why is he in this one? Let's have a look.
You ever score welding training for him?
Yeah, I remember my very first shooting session. I didn't miss. Didn't miss.
I love how serious you... I mean, rightly so, but it's so
I remember
funny.
Luke Young, who was in the squad with me, because he was at Charlton with me.
I remember him.
I remember him walking past me going, bloody you're on fire, ain't you? Honestly. But on like great times. Great times.
Great story. Go on, Deckers. We love Declan Rice. But how would you feel playing under someone like that? Listen, you know him, right? We're both lucky enough to have spoke to him on numerous occasions, so we know what kind of personality he's got. We know what kind of person he is, and we know how much of a great footballer he is as well. What would all of that and more do to you as a player, knowing he's leading you out?
Yeah, it'd be huge. You can quite clearly see the level of respect that his teammates have for him. You look at the impact he's had at Arsenal. He looks like he's somebody who would just slot into any dressing room. And I remember Jack talked about him as a person, being a really good guy as well.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know him that well. Do you know what I mean? If I see him, I say, well, yeah, what's up? But that's about it. You probably know him better than I do, but he just looks like he'd be a great teammate, a great personality, and someone who almost leads by example. He is vocal, but also leads by example. So it's an honour for him to get his 50th cap. That is incredible.
And so early as well in his career.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's quite... I mean, listen, Bellingham might not play, but I do wonder, and I do find it interesting, who will be next after Kane.
What, as captain?
As captain.
I think it's got to be him, isn't it?
I don't know. If Bellingham continues to just destroy Real Madrid.
Yeah. I wonder as well, I hear it talked about so often, I don't know the impact it has on a player, but could it sometimes be a burden on a player like Bellingham, right? Who we know how brilliant he is. That extra weight that he's going to have to carry as captain, could that change his game, or is that nonsense?
Well, I look at Bellingham and think you could do anything to him. Nothing phases him.
Yeah, you're right.
He would play the exact same way. Declan looks like he's born to lead. And when I think about some of the good captains that I played under, some of them were, Robbie Keane was a good captain. Ledley King, prime example. You had a little look and go, yep, he's ready to go. Matt Allen was a great captain for me in my younger days when I was at Ipswich and certainly at Charlton. But even someone like Beckham at England, there are certain players. Now that armband went playing captain for England, that's probably the heaviest it could be.
Yeah, true.
And looked like he was always someone that when he put that armband on, embraced it like he almost like he was bigger than the armband. Do you know what I mean? So it was almost like, okay, yeah, he's ready to rock and roll. But for Declan, listen, again, another proud moment, and it'll be in the running for sure for captain once Harry Kane steps down from that role for sure. Has to be.
We wish you all the very best, Declan Rice. We can't wait for that. It's going to be great. Now, there was a really good piece actually in yesterday's Sunday Times that questioned why the Premier League is lacking title-winning English managers. No English manager has ever won the Premier League. The last top-flight winning England manager was Hal Wilkinson. That was with Leeds back in the 91-92 season. So that's the question we're asking at the top of the 5 hour, 03717223344. You touched on it ever so briefly. 6 English managers have won a trophy since the Premier League began. Ron Atkinson's, Roy Evans, Harry Redknapp, Joe Royle, Brian Little, Steve McLaren. Why do you think that is where the list ends and none of those managers have ever won the Premier League?
I mean, listen, there was an influx of foreign, and of course we've had the Scottish managers, Welsh, Irish, I get all that. But I think chances have been really limited. I think certainly at the top end, like we rarely get now. I know Chelsea tried it with Potter. I maybe think he should have got given a bit more time, but he didn't because Pochettino, you wouldn't say, is doing much better.
No.
But for whatever reason, I mean, it just doesn't seem to happen. Arsenal, I remember the last English one, I couldn't even remember for Arsenal.
Rioch. Was he English, Bruce Rioch?
Yeah, Bruce Rioch. And that
George Graham's Scottish.
He's Scottish, yeah, of course. Yeah. Come on, Joe. Is Rioch English?
I don't know.
Listen, whatever he was appalling.
Yeah.
so whatever that.
No, but I'm just saying, you said the last English manager to marry. Terry Neal was English, I think. Was he? Oh, I'm questioning myself now. You're going back a long time.
So, for whatever reason, maybe they just don't get the opportunity, and when they do, it's almost like they have to work doubly hard to get an opportunity to manage. Yeah. And even when they get a job, they're never rarely. It's very rare you get an English manager that walks into a job where the team are competing for trophies. So Potter gets to Chelsea and they're competing, and then that's it. But Manchester United, I can't remember the last time they did it. Arsenal, can't remember the last time they did it.
By the way, Bruce Rioch played for Scotland, but was born in England, so he's English.
Yeah. Liverpool.
Roy Evans.
But how long ago was that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So they had Roy Hodgson, remember Liverpool?
Yeah, Hodgson. I mean, he's a good manager, but again, very rare we get managers go into a job and Lampard, I guess, Chelsea. But we know why he got the role.
So when you look at the golden generation, Lampard failed, Gerrard failed. I know he went up in Scotland.
Yeah, and I don't think you could really poo-poo that.
Okay. All right. Rooney.
I remember Lampard. Sorry.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Lampard, genius.
There you go.
Will definitely get another chance.
Yes, 100%.
He's got the credentials.
There you go.
Sorry. Wazza failed.
Yeah, trying to get him on the show.
Huh? Is he? Wazza could do better. Yeah, and we know he's brilliant. Who else did we want to get on the show? JT, he's your mate. What's happening here? Gary Neville, we love Gary Neville. Yeah. Phil Neville. There you go. He was useless.
Yeah. I think he's in charge of Portland Timbers now.
Hold on, is he on tomorrow? Don't tell me that.
I think he's in charge of Portland Timbers now. Phil Neville, I'm pretty sure.
Is that a wood chopping company?
That's the wood chop. We played there, yeah, pre-season. Every time they score a goal, some geezer gets a chainsaw out for the wood.
I was joking.
That's what they do at Portland Timbers. Every time they score, there's a big log. Yeah. The geezer gets the chainsaw out. There's a big gets the chainsaw out and
are you serious?
Takes the trunk off, yeah.
Why? And what does he do with that bit of wood?
Starts dancing it around, throwing it around, then I think he gives it to some of the crowd or something.
Brilliant. Okay. But why? I mean, listen, we've got players that are, as players, unbelievable. Geniuses, right?
Yeah. Do you know what you need? You need one to get up to that level.
Yeah.
Do well, win something, and that might open the door for the rest. You know what it's like, knock-on effect. But until we get one...
But I wonder whether or not, because these players are all millionaires, multi-millionaires, whether they can be bothered with the hassle they get. Yeah, but look at the abuse that Lampard got,
but money's not everything. Honestly, money...
No, I know it's
not. I know it helps, but these are proud people. Like you can be...
But that's my point. Steven Gerrard, right? Absolute superstar. Yeah. Absolute legend. What does he want negative press for?
He still did it.
I know.
And that's for the love of the game. But I think you need one to kind of break through, win something, and then that might open the doors. But at the minute, because like who's the closest you think? Eddie Howe?
Yeah.
But it almost feels, and this is the bonkers thing about this whole kind of conversation we're having. People like Eddie Howe, Graham Potter, give me another English manager, Sean Dyche maybe.
Yeah.
I'll just use them three. Or you would choose Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
He is closer to getting the England job than getting Man City.
That's right. Man City's impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Or even United.
I know.
Arsenal. How's that possible? That you're closer to the England job than that?
Why are you shouting at me?
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.